The sun was setting as Alex and his friends, Jessica and Daniel, drove through the winding, mist-shrouded roads of the countryside. They had been on a road trip, seeking adventure and a break from their mundane lives. Alex, always the curious one, had heard rumors about a remote, mysterious village nestled deep in the woods, and he convinced his friends to make a detour to find it. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the dense trees seemed to close in around them, casting eerie shadows across the narrow road. An unsettling silence hung in the air, broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl. The road became rougher, winding like a serpent, and they began to doubt the wisdom of their decision. Finally, just as they were considering turning back, they came upon a village that looked as though it had been frozen in time. The houses, constructed from weathered wood and moss-covered stone, were clustered closely together. The only source of light came from the moon, casting an otherworldly glow upon the village. "This must be it," Alex whispered in awe as they stepped out of the car. Jessica and Daniel exchanged uneasy glances, but their sense of adventure urged them forward. They walked through the cobblestone streets, the chill in the air growing more pronounced with each step. It was as if the village had been abandoned for centuries, yet there were no signs of decay or disrepair. As they approached the center of the village, they noticed a towering, ancient oak tree with gnarled branches that seemed to reach for the heavens. At its base was a stone well with a wrought iron crank, and beside it stood a decrepit sign that read, "Welcome to Shadowvale." Alex, unable to contain his curiosity, turned the crank, and the wooden bucket creaked as it descended into the darkness below. A moment later, he drew it back up, and inside was a single, weathered book. Its pages were filled with strange symbols and diagrams. "Look at this," Alex said, his eyes wide with excitement. Jessica and Daniel huddled round as Alex flipped through the pages. None of them could decipher the strange writing, but the book seemed to exude an aura of ancient knowledge and power. As they were engrossed in the mysterious book, they heard a soft, melodic humming emanating from the village square. They followed the sound to find an old woman with long, silver hair, sitting on a stone bench and rocking back and forth. Her eyes were milky white, and her voice was hauntingly beautiful as she sang in a language they couldn't understand. Alex approached the old woman cautiously. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said. "Can you tell us about this village?" The old woman stopped singing and turned her blind eyes toward Alex. "You seek answers, child, but be warned, for this village holds secrets that should remain hidden." Undeterred, Alex pressed on. "What secrets? Why is this place so mysterious?" The old woman's lips curled into a sad smile. "Long ago, a dark pact was made to protect our village. The price we paid was isolation from the world. Those who enter Shadowvale are forever bound to its mysteries." Before Alex could ask questions, the old woman stood up and shuffled away, her ethereal song fading into the night. Jessica and Daniel exchanged nervous glances, but Alex's curiosity burned brighter than ever. As they continued to explore Shadowvale, they noticed strange occurrences. Candles in the windows of abandoned houses suddenly flickered to life, and ghostly figures seemed to move in the corners of their vision. Whispers echoed through the alleyways, carrying words they couldn't quite make out. The trio reached the village church, a Gothic structure that loomed ominously over the square. Its doors creaked open as if inviting them inside. Alex, Jessica, and Daniel hesitated but eventually stepped through the threshold. Inside, they were met with an awe-inspiring sight. The walls were adorned with intricate, age-old murals depicting bizarre scenes of rituals and ceremonies. At the altar stood a massive, ancient book with pages made of vellum, its cover adorned with a blood-red gem. Alex, drawn to the book, couldn't resist opening it. The pages were filled with accounts of the village's history, revealing that Shadowvale had been founded by a group of mystics who had sought to protect a powerful artifact, the Bloodstone, that lay hidden beneath the village. The Bloodstone was said to grant unimaginable power, but at a terrible cost. It required a yearly sacrifice to maintain its power, and the villagers willingly offered their own to protect their secrets. As Alex read the chilling accounts, he realized that the villagers' lives had been intertwined with the ancient artifact, and the mysterious occurrences they had witnessed were the lingering effects of the Bloodstone's power. The church's candles flickered wildly, and a deep, otherworldly voice filled the room. "You have uncovered our secrets," it boomed. Alex, Jessica, and Daniel turned to see the ghostly figure of the old woman from earlier, now joined by the spirits of villagers long past. "We have guarded the Bloodstone for centuries," the old woman said. "But now it is time for you to make a choice." The room grew colder, and the Bloodstone on the altar pulsed with an ominous light. Alex knew what had to be done. He reached out and touched the Bloodstone, feeling a surge of power flow through him. With a heavy heart, he spoke the words of release. As the Bloodstone's power faded, the spirits of Shadowvale were set free, and the village itself began to crumble, its age catching up to it at last. Alex, Jessica, and Daniel barely made it out before the village collapsed into a pile of ancient stones and memories. They drove away from the forest, leaving behind the mysterious village of Shadowvale and its secrets. Alex had found the adventure he sought, but he had also learned the importance of letting go of the past and the price of holding onto secrets that should remain buried. As they left the misty forest behind, they couldn't help but wonder if, somewhere in the depths of the woods, the village of Shadowvale still existed, hidden from the world, waiting for the next curious traveler to stumble upon its mysteries.